For those of you who are accustomed to using specific objects of meditation, such as anapanasati, which is mindfulness of the in and out breath, or any other object of meditation that you are familiar with to meditate, you can use it as a skillful means to anchor your awareness or mindfulness. It is your choice. However, if you can grasp the understanding, you can just use the 4 supports that I have taught you, especially the first 3 supports to develop the mindfulness or the awareness within yourself. It is much easier. Then you can stay there to stabilize the awareness. If you can do that, you will progress and understand all the Buddha's teachings quickly. To be able to develop this mindfulness or awareness within is very important. To maintain that state of awareness means you must stay in that state of awareness without thought for as long as you can. But most people cannot do so. They need a lot of training and understanding to develop that state of awareness. For those who have done it before, it is very easy. Not a problem at all. Hopefully, with faith and this understanding, you can develop the mindfulness or the awareness within. Now, I will let you meditate on your own to develop this awareness within. For those who have already trained their minds and their awareness has stabilized, they can move on to do the 4th support, which is trust. Trust your inner nature to develop the meditative movements. Silence everything and let the awareness stay at the heart area. Then, do not try to do anything through verbalization. Do not try to know and create perception and thinking. Just let that awareness nature move on its own and let it detect whatever on its own. Whatever happens, just let it be. You must trust your own awareness nature within to do the meditation. Do not allow the thought, the memory, and the thinking to interfere. All these are the mundane aspects of the thinking mind. The mundane mind is not your pure awareness nature. The pure awareness nature is responsible for the arising of thoughts. See it clearly so that you understand. When you train your mind to develop this inner awareness until it stabilizes, you can see all those mental movements very clearly. Then you will come to understand that you have 2 minds. One of them is the true mind or the silent mind or the awareness nature within, before the arising of thought. The other is the creation from that pure awareness nature by the karmic process. All these movements and the arising of thoughts are from that pure awareness nature. All these will become clear and you will develop clear understanding of them. The first real and successful progress for those cultivating this awareness-based meditation is to realize this awareness nature within. This awareness nature is your true mind, your meditative mind. That is the one that can develop wisdom and understanding, and it can be awakened. Use it to insight into phenomena, to observe silently, to develop the understanding, and to realize the inner awareness nature. Then stabilize it. Now, I want to repeat my earlier 16 November 2023 awareness-based meditation instructions below, as they complement very well my above 22nd February 2024 instructions. It can help cultivators understand this awareness-based cultivation better. Some parts of the instructions may appear to be the same, as if repeated, but each time you read it after you have developed the cultivation, your understanding will become different. And with that new understanding, you can cultivate to stabilize your awareness nature within more easily. Next, Thursday class, 16 November 2023 instructions. As usual, we will have our half an hour of awareness-based meditation. We will turn off the lights for you to proceed with your meditation. Just relax your body and mind and maintain some form of attention. Then we can commence our half an hour of awareness-based meditation. Always remember, awareness-based meditation is to enable us to develop the awareness within. There are 4 supports to help you develop this awareness-based meditation. The first support is to relax. Relax into every mind state that arises. This is the first support. Just maintain a relaxed body and mind. Do not try to know. Do not try to do anything. Just relax and maintain awareness. This is the second support. Then, stabilize the awareness. This is the third support. The last support is trust. This is the fourth support. You only do the fourth support after you have developed the stability of the mindfulness within. Otherwise, the first three supports are good enough. Relax, maintain awareness, and then stabilize the awareness. When you can stabilize the awareness within, you will come to understand another aspect of the mind which is beyond thinking and beyond the thought process. It is just the pure awareness nature within. With that, great understanding and joy can arise within your nature. So, just silence your mind, relax the body and the mind, and maintain awareness. Just do that. No need to know or do anything else, because the knowing and doing are always done by the thought. Keep your mind alert, attentive, and aware. Just be aware no matter what arises. Aware and just stay aware. This pure awareness nature within needs to be realized and stabilized. After you can do that, your meditative mind, the tranquil and the still mind without thought will manifest. That is your true mind, your silent mind. That is the mind that can develop the wisdom or insight to awaken you. Since this awareness-based meditation can help us realize the awareness nature within, we must therefore develop it and make use of it to cultivate the meditative wisdom and understanding needed to liberate the mind. Realizing this awareness nature within is very important. This is your primordial mind or your true mind. It exists before the creation of all thoughts and mundane thinking by the mundane mind, arising from there. The true mind is the first entity to come out from our nature. We call it the pure awareness nature. To develop the meditative understanding, we need to return all thinking to the pure awareness nature by just relaxing and maintaining awareness there. By doing just that, thinking will naturally slow down by itself. That is, you do not try to do or know. Through that process, thought loses its ability to move or to proliferate further, thereby becoming very quiet. Then, just continue to maintain awareness. Whatever arises, be aware of whatever arises. Be aware and continue to maintain the silent inner awareness. The thinking mind or the mundane mind that you have been using throughout the day will start to slow down until it becomes very quiet and very still. Then you will experience the tranquility and stillness of the mind to realize the silent mind. The first glimpse of it is already very wonderful and beautiful. When you can stabilize it, you become even more beautiful. After you can be with that pure awareness nature, you can understand a lot of things. Then inquire without thought who you are, what you are, and what that nature is all about. From then on, you will become very different. You will become more aware and more sensitive. That awareness nature makes you more sensitive because you are just aware and no longer distracted by the thought, the heedless thinking, the mental activities and the mental states that arise. When all those mundane thinking or stirring of mind and emotions cease, you will realize that the true mind is very beautiful, bright, luminous, tranquil, and still, because it is just the pure awareness nature. The bright, luminous nature is beyond thought, beyond mind. It can see things as they are. It can awaken and it can insight into phenomena to realize the three universal characteristics of nature, anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Now, I will set the alarm for 30 minutes for you to train yourself to develop this awareness within through this awareness-based meditation. For those who already have the ability to stabilize their inner awareness, They can just silence their mind completely and stay at the heart area to stabilize their awareness nature further by cultivating the fourth support of trust. Trust your own awareness nature to develop the meditative movements by just silently observing with the silent mind to understand what is going on within your own form and mind, to understand how you function as a human being, and to understand who you are and what you are. Developing all this understanding is what awareness-based meditation is all about. Think the 30 minutes awareness-based meditation has come to an end. Next, post-meditation Dharma sharing. You can now slowly and mindfully come out of your meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind states you need to live life and to help you develop the daily mindfulness to be aware throughout the day, leading to heedfulness. Please turn to page 6 of our chanting book. We shall now chant the invocation to the Devas, Devaradhana.
Okay, we end here. End of chanting. Because time to meditate. You are off the light so that you can have your half an hour of awareness-based meditation. 7 to 7:30. So off the light, then follow exactly the two instructions. Because it's very easy to do actually when you understand. Just relax, don't do anything. Allow the awareness to stay there. In fact, if you understand, you just relax and let everything happen by itself. Let things be. Then you will really transform and become very different. Maintaining awareness is not doing something. It just, you already have that awareness nature inside. Stay with the awareness nature. Means whatever arises at your senses, aware. Try not to arise the perception and all things. Just aware, aware, aware. By doing so, you will allow the Sankara activity or whatever unfinished business or thinking that you carry over through your daily life to slowly settle down. And when you settle down, you will experience a shift of consciousness. Suddenly your mind become very quiet. Or sometimes you can see the slowing down. Because that movement, which is Sankara activity, when you are aware, you can see. Then before it slows down until it stops, you will also know. Then when it stops, there is a good mind state. There is your true mind. So don't panic. A lot of Karimita who don't understand last time, they ask me, but you no more thought, no what die. The aim of awareness-based meditation is to realize the state of no thought, 无念的境界. When you reach already, realize already, your thought tell you, without thought, will you die? Because you scared, no thought. No thought like cannot live life, no more breathing. It's not like that. The breathing is still there, but your thought can actually settle down and return to its original state before the stirring. Originally, you are that silent mind, that tranquil, still, and quiet, peaceful mind with a lot of clarity. Now it's just to realize that back. And to do that, your thought process must stop. How to stop? Just maintain the awareness. Don't do anything. Don't try to know. Don't try to do. Just relax. Then if you can, relax, enjoy, and let things be. No matter what happens, don't react. Then you find out for yourself what will happen. How the mundane thinking slow down and transform. Then when you realize that true mind, understand what that nature is. Because when you are curious, thought arises again very fast. And you miss that awareness that can detect your true mind. So just let everything settle down on itself until that silent mind arises. Then don't be excited, don't panic, stay with it. When you stay with it, it will become more and more stable, more and more stable. Then because you are a conscious living being, there will be consciousness arising from all your sense bases. So when you receive the sense data and the respective contact of your mind at the sense bases, use your awareness to understand what goes on. That's why aware, finish. No need to follow or be distracted by that sense experience. Where most people, you are so habitual, you will perceive it, then your brain, your memory, your conditioning, you will stir your mind. That's where you go wrong. So when you aware, finish, there is nothing to stir your mind. Then this is like a way of deconditioning the heedless thinking until they become very quiet, very still. Then you will understand what the awareness nature is, what the true mind is. Then you learn how to use and you know how to use, you will progress. But that one is capable of direct seeing things as they are. Then that one can understand. Thought arises from there very fast. So understanding all this, you will realize that you have two minds. One is a true mind, the unconditioned, no word, nothing on. No duality, no concept, nothing. It's just aware. Then the other one is the thinking mind, mundane mind that arises from there, dependent, originating on. Where that one, when it arises, is a pure consciousness, then you input the content, it triggers the thought. And when the thought arises, you get yourself deceived and deluded because that content of consciousness that you input into that thought is egoic before you become enlightened. So understand all this. Okay? I will let you meditate on your own. Slowly, mindfully, come out of the meditation. So we'll continue from where we stopped.
Dharma sharing by Brother Teo on unique Dharma quote 105. Ultimate realization to transcend life. We shall continue from where we stopped. We are at Unique Dharma quote 105 of my book, Straight from the Heart, Unique Dharma quotes. This unique Dharma quote 105 is on page 30. Unique Dharma quote 105.
Can somebody close the window at the back? Don't open it, because at night it's very cold.
To have the ultimate realization to transcend life, one has to transcend even the present moment, leading to the cessation of the form and mind, to the realization of Nibbana, which is the unconditioned. The present moment may be the highest in life, but it is still within life. Ultimate realization or enlightenment. This unique Dharma quote is very important. It is for you to understand what ultimate enlightenment or realization is. It means realizing and awakening to the truth, leading to the cessation of suffering and ending of birth and death. This means that to transcend life, you must go beyond birth and death. If you want to transcend life, you have to transcend even the present moment, because the present moment may be the highest in life, but it is still within life, within the field of thought. That is the reason why nowadays there are a lot of teaching on present moment awareness, which is the Buddhist tradition called sati or mindfulness. And this present moment awareness is what most cultivators try to realize and achieve. That is the reason why there are many teachers who teach present moment awareness. One of them is Eckhart Tolle. He wrote his famous best-selling book, The Power of Now. The main teaching is to teach you how to develop the stability of this inner awareness nature within. When you are with this pure awareness nature, you are with the present moment in pure awareness without thought. There is no thinking or thought to create the other two aspects of time, which we term the past and the future. Next, the three periods of time, past, present, and future. When you think, the thought creates what is called the three periods of time, the past, the present, and the future. The past, the present, and future cover the full spectrum of time. Therefore, if you can develop the understanding of these three times, the past, the present, and the future, you will understand time. Time is basically existence, because to exist or to live life is to go through time. That is how life, existence, and time are related. So, to understand life and existence, we must understand time. We should start by inquiring into these three times, the past, the present, and the future. Which of these three is reality? We have gone through all this before, right? Whatever we create through our thinking, the past is already gone. So it is no longer a reality. Then, whatever has yet to come has not happened yet, and we call it the future. So the future is also not a reality, because the future has yet to come. The only reality in life is actually the present moment. That is why it is the highest in life. With this, we have developed and established a very important understanding of what time is. Basically, through thought, the mundane mind arises and creates the illusion of time. We label it the past, the present, and the future. But in reality, everything arises and happens only within the moment. That is the only reality, whereas the past and the future are concepts of time created by thought. When you can really silence your mind and be with the moment to develop the understanding, you will understand what that truth is. You will come to understand whatever you do within the moment, you can only develop the understanding of that moment when you are aware. Without awareness, you are lost in thought, preoccupied with what you think and feel. That is why you need to understand this truth very clearly. Otherwise, you cannot understand the Buddhist teaching. Now I will read to you this unique Dharma Code 105 again. Maybe then you can develop a better understanding. Unique Dharma Code 105. To have the ultimate realization to transcend life, one has to transcend even the present moment, leading to the cessation of form and mind, to the realization of Nibbana, which is the unconditioned. The present moment may be the highest in life, but it is still within life. When you can cease your form and mind to realize the cessation, which is Nibbana or the enlightenment process of the unconditioned, you can develop the true understanding of what ultimate enlightenment is all about. Without that, you cannot do so. The present moment may be the highest in life, but it is still within life. So, to transcend life, you have to transcend even the present moment. This unique Dharma Code 105 is very profound and not easy to understand. But because of my earlier explanation, it will be a lot easier now. I will explain to all of you again on the whiteboard, using the 4 circles formation as shown in Appendix 9.1. Hopefully, it will help you understand better. So what is ultimate realization? It means enlightenment in the here and the now. To realize that, you have to transcend birth and death to transcend life. I have already explained that the 3 periods of time, which are past, the present, and the future, are all still within the field of thought. What we need to comprehend is this word, existence. Indirectly, to exist is to go through time and to go through time.
Life.
And to go through life. Indirectly, to exist is to go through life and to go through time. So, existence is time related, and life is actually existence. Without existence, there is no life, so life and existence are time-related. To understand existence and life and time, we need to define the whole spectrum of time. The whole spectrum of time is only the past, the present, and the future, which we have gone through. The past is already gone, no more a reality. The future is yet to come, it is also not a reality. So the present moment is the only reality in life, and this is what we call life or existence. This is the only reality and it is the highest in life. Understanding this, we can inquire that moment to moment, life passes by, but what are we doing? If you can understand this, you will understand your mind profoundly. What are most human beings doing throughout the day? We have established this inquiry. The present moment is the only reality in life, and moment to moment, life passes by. So, what are we doing? The answer is, most human beings are lost in thought. They are too busy thinking, planning, and worrying about life. So much so they never get to live life, and they totally miss out on life. What does it mean to live life? It means to be able to be in the state of presence, in present moment awareness. That is the reason why Eckhart Tolle teaches the power of now, and J. Krishnamurti teaches awareness. To be aware is to be in the state of presence without thought. That is why the present moment, the power of now, is the highest in life. If moment to moment life passes by and you are busy thinking, planning and worrying about life, how can you be aware of the pristine beauty and wonders of life? You will be lost in thought because man can only do one thing at a time. Either you are lost in thought or you are without thought, ever mindful of the moment to develop the pure awareness to silently observe what is going on in life, in existence. So, if you are not able to be in this present moment awareness, which the Buddha calls sati, you cannot understand life. This present moment awareness is what sati is. Some call sati mindfulness. Mahayana Buddhists call it zhen nian. In actual fact, it is just the awareness nature. So this present moment awareness, which is sati, is the highest in life. That is the reason why those who understand the Buddha's teaching will come to understand why sati is so important. Sati or mindfulness is the awareness before the knowing. That is the reason why we try to develop this awareness-based meditation to realize and stabilize this inner awareness so that we can be with the present moment all the time or most of the time, so as to be aware of what is going on within life and existence. That is how the silent mind, which is the awareness nature without thought, can observe and develop the understanding. It can also insight into phenomena to awaken to the truth and the reality within life and existence. So, that is the reason why to realize enlightenment in the here and the now, or the ultimate realization, you need to transcend even the present moment, which is still within life. Do you understand? Next, Venerable Master Guan Qing. There is a saying by a very famous Mahayana monk, Venerable Master Guan Qing, Guan Qing Lao He Shang. He always shares these three famous quotes that he had developed through his own realization. 过去心不可得. It means the mind of the past is already gone, and so it is not a reality anymore. You cannot hold on to it, nor grasp onto it, because it is already gone. So no more a reality as we have established earlier. Next is 未来性. The mind of the future 也是不可得, is also not a reality. Why is that so? Because the future has yet to come, and hence it is also not a reality. The future is just a thought projection. Then, knowing that the present moment is the only reality, he said, 现在心也不可得. The mind of the moment also cannot be grasped at or held on to. Why did he say that? It is because this present moment is still within life. So to transcend life, which is to realize the enlightenment, is to transcend birth and death, 了生死, of this segmented life of ours. To do that, we must transcend even the present moment, which is still within existence and life itself. To transcend life, we must meditate to realize the cessation of the form and mind, which is Nibbana, to realize the unconditioned. As we all know, the present moment is the only apparent reality in life, and as real as it can be. It is just a moment, and the next moment it is already dead and gone or no more. And then the next moment arises and passes away again and again. This implies it is impermanent, transient, empty and not so real. This is anatta nature of non-self. Then how real can life be? That is the reason why Master Guanqing said, 过去性不可得. The mind of the past cannot be grasped onto because it is already gone and no more a reality. 未来性不可得. The mind of the future also cannot be grasped onto because it has yet to come. It is also not a reality. 现在性也不可得. The mind of the present moment also cannot be held onto because it is so transient and hence also not a reality. Even though it is the highest in life, it is still within the field of thought. Hence, the mind of the present moment also cannot be grasped onto because it is so transient and unstable. The moment you know or experience it, in a split second, it is already dead and gone. Next, physical and psychological times. That is why to realize the ultimate enlightenment and the cessation, you have to transcend even the present moment, which is the power of now and sati. This is the reason why the realization of Nibbana is the complete cessation of the form and the mind. In this complete cessation, even the pure awareness nature is also no more there. To realize the unconditioned, you need to go through that cessation. That is why the unconditioned is akaliko, timeless. Only the conditioned world has this so-called psychological time or the mundane mind's thinking time. Scientists have established two types of time. The first type is physical time. Scientists have a very clear definition of this physical time. Our Earth's time is physical time, and it is defined as 24 hours for a full day and night. 1 hour is made up of 60 minutes and 1 minute 60 seconds. It takes one full day or a full 24 hours for the Earth to spin one round on its own axis. Then, as the Earth spins across space and time around the Sun, note the Earth is the third planet from our Sun. We call that 1 year, which is the time our planet takes to move around space and time to complete the full movement around the Sun. That is how physical time is established, and that is how we use it in our day-to-day living. The second type of time is more towards the spiritual and medical fields. We call it psychological time. This type of time is thought-related. When you think, our psychological thinking time arises or takes place. That is why we call it psychological time. But when you do not think, what happens? When you stop thinking, psychological time comes to a stop. Is that not so? Hence, when you stop thinking, you can realize the timeless. You cannot stop or cease physical time because it is a measurement. On the other hand, psychological time is especially of interest because when psychological time stops, we realize the timeless, which is akaliko, and our ability to realize the timeless is most beautiful. Next, characteristics of the true Dharma. In the sutta, when we recite the salutation to the Dharma, it is mentioned clearly by the Buddha that this Dharma that the Buddha had realized has the following very unique characteristics. This Dharma is timeless, akaliko. This word akaliko is timeless. It is beyond thought and beyond psychological time. When you stop thinking, psychological time does not exist. It is no more. And then you realize the timeless. That is how he came to realize the timeless. That is the reason why I defined for you in the early days what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is an awareness before the knowing, before the arising of thought and the aggregates of mind. The moment thinking or thought arises, the mundane mind arises. From that pure awareness nature, thought arises. That is how all this manifests. The pure awareness nature without thought is the timeless. That is why when you recall the Buddha's salutation to the Dhamma, he said, Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo. Well expounded is the Dhamma by the Buddha. This Dhamma that the Buddha had realized had certain very important unique characteristics. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo is the first unique characteristic. The Buddha recited this salutation to let the monks, his disciples and devotees at that time, check whether their cultivation is the Dhamma he had realized. If your so-called enlightenment or realization does not match with what he had proclaimed under his salutation to the Dhamma, it is not the enlightenment that the Buddha is talking about. That Dhamma, according to the Buddha, is sanditiko, meaning that this Dhamma can be realized in the here and the now, before you die. You do not have to wait till after death to come to know whether you have eternal life or whether this is true enlightenment and liberation from birth and death. These second unique characteristics, sanditiko, can be realized in the here and the now. The third unique characteristic is akaliko, meaning that it is timeless, beyond thought, beyond time. Beyond thought means beyond psychological time. With physical time, you cannot stop it because it is a measurement in physical existence. But with psychological time, it is different. It is related to spiritual time. When the thought stops, the true mind arises. Actually, the true mind is there all the time. From the true mind, mundane thinking and thought processes are quickly created. That is how it happens. Understanding this will enable one to understand how beautiful and profound the Buddha's teaching is. So, the unique characteristics of the Dhamma are, it is swakato, sanditiko, akaliko, and ehipassiko. Ehipassiko is the fourth unique characteristics, meaning that this Dhamma that the Buddha had realized through his enlightenment in the here and the now can be put to the test. It can be investigated and it can stand up to investigation because it is the truth. It points towards the truth, the reality. This Dhamma which the Buddha had realized is not only swakato, sanditiko, akaliko, and ehipassiko. It is also opanayiko. This is the fifth unique characteristics, leading inwards to the heart. There it is pachetam veditapo vinohiti. This is the sixth unique characteristic, meaning it can only be realized by the wise, each for themselves. So if your cultivation and meditation does not have all these six unique characteristics of the Dhamma, it means you are not on the right track. Your so-called enlightenment or realization is not in sync with what the Buddha had realized and proclaimed. That is why the real enlightenment is sanditiko. It can be realized in the here and the now. Akaliko, timeless. Ehipassiko, it can stand up to investigation. Opanayiko, leading inward into our nature, in the heart area through the gateway to our nature. And finally, it is pachetam veditapo vinohiti, meaning it can only be realized by the wise, the enlightened ones, each for themselves. The point is, this realization is not a concept nor an idea, nor theoretical Dharma. This is the living Dharma which can be realized in the here and now, beyond thought and beyond time. From here onwards, you will come to understand why the Buddha emphasized so much on the importance of developing sati or mindfulness, leading to apamada or heedfulness. Next, Dhammapada verses 21, 22, 23 on heedfulness. Dhammapada verse 21 on heedfulness is very important and very clear. The Buddha said that without sati leading to heedfulness, you are as if dead. That is, the heedless are as if dead. Who are the heedless? Those who think a lot, those who are hardly mindful or aware. They are never with the moment in silent awareness. They are constantly lost in thought, creating habitual thinking and emotions. Besides thinking about the past and recalling all the scars of memories, miseries, phobia, fear, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation, etc., they also project their thoughts into the future. When they project their thoughts into the future and develop all these unnecessary fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation, they suffer a lot because all these negative and wrong thoughts are detrimental to their health. Yet, living beings, through ignorance and self-delusion, constantly indulge in them. In other words, living beings seldom develop the ability to be aware and to be with the moment. They are hardly aware. That is the reason why, most of the time, they are lost in thought and think a lot. If you are hardly aware, how can you understand life and see the unreality of life and existence? These understandings match beautifully with the Buddha's teaching. Dhammapada verses 21, 22, and 23 point towards the importance of having mindfulness leading to heedfulness. Heedfulness is apamada. Apamada Vaga are the stanzas on heedfulness. There are 12 of them, from Dhammapada verses 21 to 32. Hopefully, with today's elaboration and explanation, all of you can understand better. In the past, I only mentioned briefly the 3 types of time: the past, the present, and the future. At that time, I did not go in deeper, but this time, I am approaching it from the full understanding of cultivation and realization. This is very important. So please do listen to the video and audio recording attentively and repeatedly to develop clear understanding. Then, contemplate to stabilize all this understanding so that all of you will be able to understand the whole big picture and the full scope of this sati and heedfulness cultivation. Now I will read to you again this unique Dhamma quote 105 for you to develop clear understanding. Unique Dhamma quote 105. To have the ultimate realization to transcend life, one has to transcend even the present moment, leading to the cessation of form and mind, to the realization of Nibbana, which is the unconditioned. The present moment may be the highest in life, but it is still within life. They are the essence of the understanding, but there is still one more aspect which I had explained previously, but I need to repeat it so that you can understand better. How can we understand this phase? The present moment may be the highest in life, but it is still within life. I mentioned just now that the past is already gone, hence no more a reality. The future which is yet to come is also not a reality. So the present moment is the only reality in life. But how stable is the present moment? The moment you become aware of it, or you speak about it, what happens? It is already dead and gone. Split second, like a lightning flash, it is gone. The present moment, which is the only reality, is truly transcend. Split second, it is dead and gone. If that is what the present moment is, then what is life? Can there be any reality? The phenomena world of consciousness is the conditioned arising world. Moment to moment, things arise and pass away. It is the only reality which is so transient, and yet you deludedly grasp and cling onto all the creations manifested by our thoughts. From here, our mundane mind, the five aggregates of form and mind, through our thought process and senses, project and create the phenomenal world of consciousness. This phenomenal world of consciousness is where existence and life are. Everything that happens in this phenomenal world of consciousness seems so real, but in actual fact, when you are mindful and aware, you can realize this present moment, which is the highest in life, is truly transient. Moment to moment, life passes by. It just comes and goes. Then how real can it be? That is why there is no reality. It is an illusionary world. In the Surangama Sutta, it is mentioned very clearly. Perception of form is consciousness, whereas its non-perception is wisdom. So all these forms within existence that you come to perceive through your senses are just consciousness that arises when the mundane mind becomes conscious through contact, through your senses. That is why consciousness comes and goes, perception comes and goes, feeling comes and goes, and so too all the aggregates of the mind, including Sankara. They come and go, and you are not dead. If they keep on coming and going, can they be you? This is profound Dharma. When you understand that it is only thoughts and through consciousness they manifest, you will understand why this phenomenal world of consciousness, where everything happens, is just an illusionary world. It is not what you think it is. It is just an illusion. Everything just comes and goes, from moment to moment. It just shows you the empty nature of existence. From understanding how this phenomenal world of consciousness manifests, you will come to realize that this so-called life and existence is not so real. It is not what you think. It is empty. Empty in the sense that there is no reality. In the end, whatever happens, you can only hold on to it through memory and through the thought process. In Mandarin, they always use the phrase, 往事只能回味.
Meaning you can only recall them through memory, which is in your past. Whatever you come to know or you hold on to comes from your thoughts and memory. Without memory, all this does not exist, although you cannot deny that it does happen while you are alive within the existential world. But it is empty, not what you think. Hey no you and hey no me, because everything within the condition arising or existential world are dependent, originating, and condition arising phenomena. There is nothing within the existential world that is a permanent, unchanging entity that you can cling, hold on to, or grasp and say, this is me, this is I, therefore all this can be mine.
So Nancy, now you can understand. Can understand? Good. Here, very clearly written. Okay, continue.
This is the most profound understanding. If you can penetrate this, you will penetrate all the other teachings and the Dhamma. Then the Buddha Dhamma can become a living reality, and you can live it. You can understand it. You can understand it, and even proclaim, share, and develop it into real life experience. This is the uniqueness of the Buddha's teaching. I have developed all these quotes from my Dhamma sharing and teachings. They are compiled into a book called Straight from the Heart, Unique Dhamma Quotes, because they are truly unique. In the past, when I developed them, hardly anyone knew how unique and profound they were. I think maybe only a few kalamitas, one of them being Sister Ingrid, who recognized them as such. She was very perceptive. She knew it was very profound and beautiful, and she actually wrote them down and stored them in her computer. Then when the time came for us to compile all those quotes into a book, she emailed them to me and said, Brother Teo, I have them all. Eventually, I edited the whole list and developed more than 160 quotes. That's how my book, Straight from the Heart, Unique Dharma Quotes, came about. It is as though all these quotes are meant to be. This unique Dharma quote 105 is one of these quotes, and it is indeed very beautiful, profound, and unique. Do you have any questions? Does anyone want to ask any questions or elaborate on what we have shared? For those following online, you can ask your questions or share your thoughts using the microphone. For those who are here physically, you may raise your hand. Anyone? Brother Teo asked, Brother Song, do you understand? The sharing this time around is different again. This time not only does it link to the salutation to the Dhamma, it also covers all the other relevant and related aspects of the Dhamma. And this time around, I have explained the whole topic in a more comprehensive manner. Earlier on, I could not do so because even at the initial stage of the explanation of the past, the present, and the future, it took me quite a while to explain. I only shared that the present moment is the highest in life, and moment to moment, life passes by, and what are you doing? I only ask all of you to go into this inquiry and contemplate, because that itself can bring about a lot of very penetrative awakening and realization. When my nature awakened in 1989, these were the things I contemplated on, and there was a lot of understanding and joy. Later, I expanded on them. Now, 30 plus years later, I still do not need to remember anything. The moment I want to share this topic, the understanding surfaces from my nature, straight from the heart. This is what the reality is. This is what will happen when you go through all the awakening, enlightenment, and the realization. So now physical time and psychological time have become much clearer. Last time I had only briefly mentioned them. The other aspect is how to link it to the Dhamma, to mindfulness or sati, to heedfulness, and to present moment awareness, etc. This time I explain this present moment awareness cultivation in more detail because now most Kalyamittas can develop the understanding. Second session, Q&A and meditation reporting. Brother Teo asked, now we will have our second session, the Q&A session. The reporting of your meditation is to be followed by whatever Dhamma question you may have. You can also share anything related to your cultivation, especially to Dhamma in daily life. Anybody wants to report their meditation or ask any questions? Yes, Brother Song. Note, Brother Song speaks a mix of Mandarin and English. To make it easier for readers to understand and follow, Brother Song's sharing has been translated fully in English. Good evening, Brother Teo, Mrs. Teo, and all Kalyamittas. Brother Teo, my sharing pertains to tonight's topic. Just now, as I was looking at the whiteboard, I suddenly realized that when psychological time arises, the whole world also arises. Brother Teo said, Sadhu. That's why the Buddha said, 1, 2, 3, Sadhu. That's why the Buddha said, mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. Now that you are able to stay at the awareness nature, you can already see this mundane arising. And you will understand the reason why the Buddha in his Rohitassa Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya 4.45, or Sangyutta Nikaya 2.26, states that within this phantom-length body, along with perception, thought, and awareness, I proclaim the world, referring to existence, the cause of the arising of the world, the cessation of the world, and the path that leads to the cessation of the world. These are the Four Noble Truths. That is why these words, world, existence, and life are related. But the song continues, when thoughts arise, Dhammapada verses 1 and 2 also follow. The mental intention behind these thoughts determines its significance. Because we live in this existential world, this understanding is crucial. Without the Dhamma understanding, we will be lost in our deluded thoughts. This cycle of birth and death will continue to flow and spin living beings in samsara for eternity. It is all because of this psychological time, deluded thoughts will emerge. Once they arise, we will be lost in them. Brother Teo answered, that is our 5 aggregates of form and mind, the mundane mind. This mundane mind, which is basically consciousness, is the magician. This magician creates illusions for living beings to grasp, cling, and hold on to. Magicians are also called illusionists. They create magic which are just illusions with no reality. But most people think it is real, not realizing that it is actually an illusion. So, through this understanding, Brother Song comes to understand all this. Psychological time is basically your thought process, your mundane thinking. When you understand this, you will understand the Buddha's Dhammapada verses 1 and 2, and why the verses always start with mind is the forerunner of all things, mind is chief, etc. Through his awareness, Brother Song can see the moment the thought process starts, how psychological time also starts, thereby creating the apparent reality within existence. That is how the world arises. That is why the Buddha said, mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief, and when mind arises, the whole world, the whole creation arises. Arises through what? Through consciousness that is being projected into the phenomenal world of consciousness, through their Sakkaya Ditthi or self-delusion. Living beings then hold on to them deludedly as if life exists and it is real. That is how all the entanglements start. When you know your thoughts are very important and the mundane thinking is the forerunner of all things, what must you do? You must take care of the mind, otherwise, when you act, speak, and think with a heedless mind that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, suffering will follow you like the wheel that follows the hoof of the ox. This is Dhammapada verse 1. I used to share with you all this understanding. Your life, you decide how you want to live it. If you know this Dhamma and understand the significance of what psychological time is and what the mundane mind is, you will choose to take care of your mind, to develop heedfulness. Then Dhammapada verse 2 will take over. Dhammapada verse 1 is about suffering, as all action in this life are preceded by the mind. Suffering follows the heedless, who never develop their heedfulness, mindfulness, and awareness to understand life. We must realize the Dhamma and enlightenment in the here and the now to transcend life so that we understand life and we can truly live life. Now we will move on to Dhammapada verse 2. The Buddha shared Dhammapada verse 2. Mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. Mind-made are they. If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, because of that, happiness follows one, even as one shadow that never leaves. So when the mind arises, all things, all creations arise. And when one speaks, acts, and thinks with a wholesome mind that is free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, delusion, happiness will follow one like one's shadow that never leaves. That is what life is all about. Today, Brother Chinhao texted me something interesting. Later, I will share with you all on our Maikalia Mitas WhatsApp platform. Someone who listened to my YouTube sharing on the topic, Heart Sutra Lesson 1, wrote to me. He said he has a Christian background. After listening to this particular sharing of mine, he wrote to thank me. He wrote, "Thank you, Brother Teo. As a lay person with a Christian background, your explanation of the Buddhist teachings brings clarity to me that I can live with better wisdom to mitigate and hopefully end suffering in my this earthly existence. Will you all not rejoice with me hearing this? Sadhu,
rejoice lah!
sadhu,
Aiyo,
sadhu.
Christian also appreciate, you Buddhists don't appreciate. Cao lạt liao. Chia lạt. Okay, continue.
He has a Christian background and has never met me before. Just by listening to my first Heart Sutra class sharing, he can develop such profound understanding. That is really amazing. Someone totally new to Buddhist teachings can develop such profound understanding so quickly. In this first Heart Sutra class sharing, I expounded the essence of the Buddha's teaching, which is the Four Noble Truths. I elaborated on it during that class sharing, and I remembered that it was very beautiful. Because of that, he was able to develop that clarity of understanding on how to live life. So he had the intention to change for the better based on what he had heard and understood, to mitigate and hopefully end suffering. Now he can see possibility of freeing himself of suffering in this very life. In this context, to mitigate is to lessen suffering so that hopefully the end of all suffering is possible. When you have the true understanding of all this teaching that I have shared, pointing to the whiteboard, all this can be realized. He had not even come to the pure awareness nature cultivation, yet it can benefit him so much. He had only heard about the Four Noble Truths, the Heart Sutra's preliminary teachings, where I mentioned Dhammapada verses 1 and 2. That itself was enough for him to understand the importance of being heedful and the importance of training his mind to be aware and mindful, leading to heedfulness and to experiencing and understanding present moment awareness. Now looking back, my understanding leads me to question how a being can have this type of understanding 2,600 years ago. That is only possible if he is the real Sammasambuddha. Nobody else in this existence can summarize all of his understanding into just Four Noble Truths and spin off the whole teaching. That is why in the year 1971, after I read the book titled What Buddhists Believe, first edition written by our late Chief Reverend Dr. K. Sri Dhammananda, I was full of joy. The moment I read the Four Noble Truths in that book, my nature told me that there is no further need to search for the truth. Because of my past cultivation, straight away I understood what that teaching was all about. To me, it is the secret of life because it explains the complete understanding of life, both the mundane and the supramundane. That is why after that, my nature went all out to develop the cultivation of that teaching without turning back. Later, I followed up by renewing my Bodhisattva vows to continue with the Supreme Vehicle cultivation. In 1989, after my nature connected, all the understanding from my spiritual nature come back to me. Then everything just fell into place. It was as though it was meant to be. That is why I used to share with you all that in this life, in this segment of my nature's coming, I actually did not do anything. I just accord and flow. Do you understand why I say that? It is because the causes and conditions are already there and everything is as though pre-planned and set in place by my nature's past cultivation, wisdom, understanding, adhitthana, or strong determination, affirmation, and of course, the vows. That's why this coming, the conditions and everything else just fell into place. That is why this teaching is very profound and unique. Hopefully in today's sharing, please remember to listen to my nature's teaching again and again to develop the stability of understanding. This new understanding is complete and comprehensive. It will revolutionize a lot of our Kalyamita's understanding. Okay, Brother Song, please continue. Sadhu. Brother Song statement. Yeah? When this psychological time arises, the world also arises. When consciousness arises, the world also arises. So all the Dhamma also arises. The Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, the five aggregates of form and mind, etc. Everything is already there. Brother Teo said, yes, because thinking is in psychological time and thought consciousness. Therefore, when they arise, the phenomenal world of consciousness, which is the world, also arises. All Dhamma mentioned by Brother Song, such as the three evil roots of greed, hatred, delusion, all dualities like good and evil, etc., are included because everything is mind-made. Brother Song said, Brother Teo, I want to share something from 2 months ago when I was listening to your Dhamma talk. When I heard Brother Teo mention duality, the word struck me. Later on, my understanding of this word changed. I thought about how each of us in this world is constantly playing the game of duality. Suddenly, I understood. For example, as cultivators, we often hear others mention that when they experience unfavorable meditative outcome, they will say, my meditation is very bad. We always crave for good meditative experiences. Then when we dislike or reject those unfavorable meditative experiences, we manifest a type of negative craving like hatred, dislike, and aversion. At that moment, I understood that my craving for good meditative experiences is another form of craving that had conditioned my aversion and dislike. But the Teo said, yes, the opposite manifests itself. That is why the Buddha also explained this duality teaching in the Theravada tradition. It is similar to the duality teaching of the yin and yang as taught by Lao Tzu. The Buddha described it by saying, Imasming sati idang hoti, imasming asati idang nahoti. Sangyutta Nikaya 12.61. Meaning, when this arises, that arises. When this ceases, that ceases. It means that when you create good, obviously whatever that is not good is bad, which is its opposite will manifest. Is that not so? That is why you tend to have good and bad meditation. Meditation is not about clinging onto good meditative experiences or rejecting bad meditative experiences. It is about developing the understanding and the wisdom to awaken. That is why I always say only wisdom can free you. It has nothing to do with this duality created by thought. Thoughts through words, ideology, and concept create duality of the yin and the yang to divide. So when you see this duality in your present stage of cultivation, it means you will start to penetrate the Dhamma because this is the beginning. After that, you will see the profound beauty of the Buddha's teaching on duality. When this arises, that arises. When this arises, that arises. It applies to all circumstances in life because all dualities are the same. Venerable Shen Xiu was caught up in the same problem because he held on to all wholesome mind states. That is why he said that all these defilements are like dust. He thought that mundane mind in the state of sati is the true mind, and that the mundane mind must be polished until it shines so that no dust can collect. How can you do that? When you cling onto wholesome mind state, whatever that is not wholesome mind state, the opposite, which is defilement, will arise. If it arises, how can you do away with it or try to kill something that you have created? You cannot, because they are a pair. You must go beyond or transcend duality to make them both cease. That is when you do not create one side, the opposite cannot arise, because the moment this arises, that arises. That's why the Buddha said, Imasming sati idang hoti. And then he said, Imasming asati idang nahoti. Meaning you must cease both by not creating duality. You must transcend all duality. In the opening statement of the Buddha's first sermon, as recorded in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha said that we should avoid the two extremes of self-mortification and sensual indulgence. These are dualities. So, how do you avoid them? The first way is through the normal teaching to avoid all evil and do good. This is thought-based. The second way is to transcend duality. When you can transcend duality, you can also avoid the two extremes. But how do you transcend duality? The Buddha said, imasming sati idang hoti, meaning when this arises, that the other aspects of the duality will also arise. Because whatever there is not this is the opposite of what you have created. That's why it is called a duality. Then the Buddha continued, imasming asati idang nahoti, meaning when this ceases, that ceases. So your solution is to develop the wisdom to realize that they are duality created by thoughts, hence not a reality. This is created by the mundane mind based on conventional truth. So if you believe in those dualities created by thoughts, you will hold on to the good and try to avoid or push away the negative, which is bad. Then what will happen to you? You will be forever chasing and fighting duality, both of which will lead to suffering, as both are cravings, positive and negative. That is why I said any good states and experiences, especially pleasure, are also a prelude to suffering. Why? Because you will cling on to them through memory. You may think that this experience is very nice, good, and special, and you want it to be repeated in the future. So we archive it. But when you cannot get what you want, you will be afflicted. That is why it is a prelude to suffering. Suffering will arise when you hold on to all good mind states, the positive, the wholesome, and other pleasurable and amazing state that you crave, not realizing that if you do that, the opposite will surface and you will be caught. That is why when you cannot get what you want and when things do not go your way, suffering will be the result. That is the first Noble Truth, seventh reality. Therefore, understand that all this is to free you after you have developed the wisdom to transcend duality, meaning not to crave, cling, and create. That is the reason why I used to share with all of you the importance of understanding why there is no right and no wrong. According to the Buddha, things are just the way they are. Deluded people do deluded things. Why do you say that he is wrong? Similarly, foolish people do foolish things, and heedless people do heedless things, while wise people do wise things. They are just the way they are. Living beings and nature's conditions are just the way they are. That is why the Buddha said that thing is just the way it is, or things are just the way they are. That is the truth, which is the reality. There is suchness, the isness of things, tatata. You cannot go against it. Why do you want to create duality to define it differently? This profound understanding is what the Buddha wants us to realize. It means that when this wisdom is developed, you will not be trapped by duality, and such delusion will not affect or afflict you anymore. The truth is that within that moment, things are just the way they are. No right, no wrong. No good, no bad. When you understand this, it implies suchness seeing. When conditions are like that, things will be like that. It cannot be otherwise, because that is the reality. Then why is the mundane mind acting like a busybody saying, this is right and this is wrong? Then division, argument, conflict, suffering, misery, and misunderstanding can arise to condition sufferings. That is how the chaotic phenomenal world comes to be, and how the world of ours has so many problems, wars, and conflict due to disagreement over ideology, differences of opinions, etc. All these are created by the mundane mind through delusion, through ignorance. So seeing all this, realizing all this, with your pure awareness within, you will penetrate duality in no time, because this is the true beginning of transformation for all of you after you can follow and understand all this sharing on duality. Brother Song, now that you can see it already, that's why you can use your own words to explain what you now understand. But the deeper meaning that I have just explained is to help take you beyond duality, to transcend all dualities, which means to see things as they are, through the direct seeing. Just like what the Buddha said, to see things as they are, with suchness seeing, to see the reality, to see what is. So things are the way they are. These words of wisdom can awaken you. Once awakened, all this duality will have no more meaning. In the first place, who created them? The deluded and the foolish ones. But we must also understand we live in a conditioned world while dualities exist. As I have always explained, duality exists within the conditioned world, the existential world, and you cannot avoid duality while here, because that is for living. You cannot simply quote the Dhamma and say that we must transcend duality because there is no right, no wrong. Then you will argue with with people. That is still a one-sided understanding. That is why we have the three types of seeing as stated in the Mahayana teaching. Can you remember them?
Okay, I want to add on. Just now, Sui was asking me, you remember, about life. Not Sui, who was it? I explained, somebody asked me something about, I think, duality or what, the existential world. Then I explained, we live in the existential world, understand not? And this existential recognizes duality. Where is a conditioned world? Duality exists, understand not? Like the Heart Sutta say, in true emptiness, all these things don't exist. But in the existential world, old age, sickness, and death, birth exist. Understand not? All this exists. So do not be deluded. You quote the unconditioned and don't know how to apply, you simply think that you are very smart. Then sometimes the reason why the conditioned world has this is because the conditioned world is a world of duality. Because almost 99.999% all not yet enlightened one, no. You want to use the unconditioned Dhamma and tell them things. You understand? You say, no, according to the Buddha, no right, no wrong. You cannot left and right. Debate, people got a debate title. You have to put up your point, To them, right and wrong is what life is. That's why Shen Xiu also got. Understand? And a lot of existential world reality, you need to understand. Because we have to accord and flow, understand? So suchness seeing is agree lah, understand? Mundane seeing also agree, direct seeing also agree. But they are just the way they are, understand? Within the existential world, the conditioned world, all this convention reality, to them is the truth. So don't try to change people or convince people and end up argue. Understand? That's why when you have the understanding like the Buddha, do you realize the Buddha, on many occasions people come and challenge him. What he do? No, he remains silent. He don't want to argue with you. He just remains silent. And people cannot understand. During the Buddha's time, a lot of people came and challenged him. And he just remained silent. That's why finally people say, silent is, don't talk better than simply talk. Correct? So if you can, that right speech under Noble Eightfold Path, go and cultivate it. Understand? What constitutes right speech? Wrong speech, you know. Theravada tradition already write the four. What are the four wrong speech? Telling lie is one of them. Slandering, backbiting, understand or not? Backbiting, frivolous talk, harsh speech, that very harsh and violent speech. So this one you know. But what is appropriate or right speech? Nobody teach you. Understand? Do you realize that? They always teach you all the other thing that is recorded in the teaching or no. And everybody just quote on. But I realized, it's just like Noble Eightfold Power. You know what they teach as right thought or not? I think Sunday school teacher will know. What are right thought? According to Theravada tradition. The four, Brahma Vihara, isn't it? Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upeka. You think only these four right thought? I got three more.
Three more, actually. The right thought is on Nekama, renunciation. And then the second one is the ill will, abandon ill will. And the third one is non-cruelty.
Correct.
Metta.
That one is in the teaching.
Yes.
Understand? But this one is Buddhist one. Understand? A lot of Dhamma book, right thought as this one. All the commentator, you can read a lot of Buddhist book, right, like that. This one is, I think, linked to Abhidhamma, all this thing. Oh, in the Nikaya, yes, in the Nikaya sometime, because it's a sutta by the Buddha, understand? Nikaya is middle length or, Tika Nikaya or Sanyutta Nikaya. Okay, never mind. So what MBC one is in the Nikaya, that one more accurate. But what is written on Buddhist tradition, Theravada side type of book? They always define these four. So I ask you a question. If you read the Dhamma, have this knowledge, does it help you in your understanding of life, in the cultivation? You think easy to develop metta, easy to develop this mudita, and easy to develop this so-called karuna, especially upeka. So what is important is, if you want to avoid all evil, you have to understand what constitutes evil, understand? Then you have to understand what are wrong thoughts. That is more important than right thought, understand? If you don't know what is wrong thought, how can you be mindful of it and be sensitive towards it and determined to abandon it? True or not? If you only know, okay, I practice metta, maybe you develop some metta, okay? But you don't know what is wrong thought, no. In the morning chanting, you remember not? The living beings are bound by what? Suffering, obstructed by suffering, all karmic. Then bound by birth, old age, sickness, and death, despair, sorrow, lamentation. These are all wrong thoughts. Thought that condition your suffering, your misery. These are wrong thoughts. Your fear, your worry, your anxiety. So whenever you are not peaceful and have this negative tendency, the wrong thought is there. Understand? That's why he said you are caught or trapped, bound by all these things. You understand? That's why the Buddha is so wise in the morning chanting. He tell you all this, but we only chant the words. Understand? And most people don't understand what he meant. So what he's telling you is, when you confront all this reality, all this will lead to suffering. You don't have the Dhamma understanding. Then to make it clearer to you, he said you are bound by sorrow, lamentation, despair, all the fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation. All this is what wrong thought is all about. That's why I teach the Kayamita. What is wrong thought? More important. Whatever thought you think, that condition your fear, your worry, your anxiety, your sorrow, lamentation, and despair, that is wrong thought. Understand? That condition your greed, your hatred, your delusion, that is wrong thought. And that is more important, because you have to abandon them. Understand? If you cannot recognize and you caught in that wrong thought, you still blame people. You still get angry, emotional, and cannot accept the reality. Where you tell people, how can you do this to me? How can you cheat me, deceive me? I trusted you. All these are right thought or wrong thought? Definitely wrong thought lah. Bayang Keti also know how to ask you, do you believe the thought? Is this thought the truth? Then he asks a second question. Is this thought really the truth? Then he said, if it's the truth, then why you end up suffering? Without this thought, you are happy, right? You are peaceful, right? You are normal. Right? So all this thought That's why I say the Kalama Sutta, you should apply to your own thought. You think your thought is your good friend. Because you have been using it for so long. Anything you don't know, think about it, you go and think. Then the thought tell you. Then you act. Acting according to memory created by thought, no, psychological thing, no. That is not acting at all. Yeah, so you want to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to share 3 wrong thoughts that were not very clear to me in the beginning. Then I discovered they are really wrong thoughts. So one of them is loneliness, another one is boredom, another one is frustration. These 3 took me a while. Some history, I have added a bodhisattva vow to recognize and abandon all wrong thoughts. And every time I identify a wrong thought, I add to my list. These 3 are the newer
Last
ones.
time previous retreat, she put a long list of wrong thoughts, which is very good. Yeah. So we all should rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Because ability to recognize wrong thought is very important. That's why Dhamma, when you actually understand, it is very different. Not what is popularly taught or accepted. You have to apply them with the understanding. So when you apply, it's just a very straightforward question. If I don't recognize the wrong thought, then how am I going to cultivate? Understand or not? The 4 right effort, first one is what? Abandon the wrong thought, wrong speech, and wrong action. If you don't know what constitutes evil, that condition all this wrong thing, you cannot act. Understand or not? But they just tell you greed, hatred, delusion. They didn't expand on it. Understand? What is greed? It's not only greediness. All your selfishness is also greed. No, understand? Your covetousness, your possessiveness, and all your craving, your lust, your desire, all these are greed. Unless you understand all this and expand on it, without mindfulness, you cannot see. Understand? Because the ego and personality is selfish. Understand? How can he admit to you that this is greed? Because you say, hey, I'm not greedy. If I can get, why not? That is selfish. But he said, teaching say greed, that is not greed. What bo tham one? What ho lang? I'm not greedy. I'm a good person. Then they discuss business with you. Understand? But all businessmen, profit-oriented, isn't it? You think a lot charity or when they make all the money, then they become philanthropy. They do some charity. But when they do business with you, you think they are very charitable? Gong Chai no. So all this is what I say, the reality of life and existence. Within our existential world, all this exists. Duality, all the crooked way of doing things, all this exists. Understand? So that part about the conditioned world, you have to understand. That's why I put here. But we must also understand, we live in a conditioned world where duality exists. As I have always explained, duality exists within the conditioned world, the existential world. And you cannot avoid duality while here, because that is for living. You cannot simply quote the Dhamma and say we must transcend duality. So this is a very important understanding. So when you understand, you must have suchness seeing, means the ultimate wisdom. Understand? If that person mundane seeing come, you can also accord and flow and agree with him. Understand? 看山是山, yeah, mountain, no problem. Then no more argument here. Then the direct seeing guy say, no. 看山不是山, yeah, 看山不是山, no problem. Understand? Then the Gong Chai example that day, the foreigner come in, good morning, but afternoon already. You say, you go and correct him and say, already afternoon, good afternoon. So they are in a world of duality. To them, normal. To them, they have their own perception of morning or after. Even if he make mistake, let's say, understand? Why are we so rigid about right and wrong? Why must we insist that must correct him? Understand? They are just the way they are. And most people don't want to be corrected. We must understand. And there are people, but luckily this guy is very nice. He talked to us very nice. That's why he greet us. Who are you? What is it? What did he ask us already? Good morning or what? Or where are you from? Oh, we all ask him back, where are you from? But they greet us what? Good morning, isn't it? So they are nice people. And luckily they come to temple, so they cannot like keka all the time. So this is the point that I hope, when you apply the Dhamma, don't be rigid and one-sided, understand? When you understand the conditioned Dhamma, it's for you to develop the understanding so that you follow Noble Eightfold Path. When you understand the unconditioned Dhamma, it is applicable to the existential world. So the two doesn't contradict one. Understand? Where one is the conditioned world, like the Heart Sutta. You read the Heart Sutta, you panic, because Four Noble Truths also not there. But you didn't understand in true emptiness, all these don't exist. Understand? So no contradiction. After you realize true emptiness is the unconditioned Dhamma, then everything in the Heart Sutta is true. 照见五蕴皆空, illuminated the five skandha and realized that they were all empty. These are unconditioned Dhamma, but that's why the title is what? Prajna Paramita. Prajna is wisdom. Paramita is perfection. And that particular Heart Sutta is the perfection of wisdom sutta. That's why it's all the unconditioned understanding. And even Sariputta, the foremost disciple of the Buddha in wisdom, Kuan Yin also not shy. Hey, Sariputta, I say, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness. He even dared to tell Sariputta, want him to awaken to the higher teaching, the real understanding of the unconditioned Dhamma. That's why this Heart Sutta is very deep and very profound and not easy to comprehend. Okay? Where is AB? Oh, go toilet. You continue. Page 43, the 3 levels C. Okay, we continue. If you got any question you want to ask, you can ask. Okay?
The 3 levels of seeing. First level, Kan San Si San, seen mountain as mountain. This is mundane seeing. Second level, Kan San Pu Si San. This is supra-mundane seeing.
I think I better review Manyuan's Mandarin, not so good. I read first. The 3 levels of seeing. First level, Kan San Si San, means the English translation is when somebody with the mundane seeing, they see mountain, they say, that is a mountain. Understand? But the English direct translation, see mountain as mountain, that one you be careful. Between non-English speaking one, I think we understand. Kan San Si San. See mountain as mountain. Then next one, see mountain as not mountain. Then again, see mountain as mountain again. I think that Amokia will think that you're trying to be funny. So all this existential world can have misunderstanding if you are not careful. Understand? So we have to develop the understanding. So I modify it a bit. First level of seeing, Kan San Si San, means mundane seeing, ordinary people seeing. Yeah? Mundane existential world convention, there is a mountain. Cannot argue on that. Then second level of seeing means the direct seeing by an enlightened being or somebody who has the ability of seeing things as they are. Then they realize there is no word. Understand? Well, in the direct seeing is the awareness seeing before the knowing, before the perception. That's why he will tell you, Kan San Pu Si San. because that is the direct seeing. So this direct seeing is what we call supramundane seeing. When your supramundane mind is there already, your awareness nature is there already, and then you see that there is no mountain. Then the third level of seeing, 看山又是山. Why he say 又是山 means you go back to normal again, understand? Where you can accord and flow already. Whether enlightened being with mundane seeing or enlightened being with supramundane seeing, you can accord and flow and communicate with them. No need to argue with them. That's why this third level is the perfection of wisdom already. When you can be at this level, means you truly understand. So here, 看山又是山 means seeing mountain as mountain again. This is suchness seeing. Why? When the enlightened one come and say there is no mountain, you will agree and say yes, there is no mountain. That is to say, 看山不是山 is true. Oh, sorry, 看山 看山不是山 is supramundane seeing, and he is also right. Then when the unenlightened one come and say that through his mundane seeing, 看山是山, you will also agree and say yes, 看山是山, and you will also, and you will become different because you have transcend duality. Understand? Through your wisdom. That is why this suchness seeing is without duality. No need to argue on. No right, no wrong. Through seeing things as they are. This is the real awakening, the real wisdom. No, this colloquial English. Okay? Huh? Very good? You brought out some very good condition for all this to be explained. So ignore the colloquial English. Why did we go and put okay question mark? Actually, maybe we didn't pick it up. When they transcribe that time, they put okay. So I read because that is the way I speak. I say okay lah. That's why I say okay. Song, this is very good. Okay. Manjan, now you can continue. No more Mandarin already. Page 44.
Yeah. Brother Song said, later I developed my meditative understanding to realize that if we do not develop awareness, when we live our daily lives, we will be caught in duality and we cannot get out of it. I realize these are our deluded habitual tendencies, repeated again and again, and this is the reason why we are caught in it. To my understanding, if we wish to come out of it, we need a very stable mindfulness base. Stabilizing this mindfulness to develop the wisdom is most important. Then only can we develop acceptance through wisdom. Acceptance must come first before we can act following the Dharma way, by applying the Noble Eightfold Path to resolve all things amicably. Act according to the Noble Eightfold Path as taught by the Buddha to end all our sufferings. This is the fourth noble truth.
This one we have gone through. So this one is the understanding that you must have. That's why after that I reply. You continue, Maya.
Yeah. Brother Dio said, yes, acceptance through wisdom after understanding the truth and the reality through seeing things as they are is crucial. To do that, we must understand the Buddha's saying. You must develop the deeper understanding of what the Buddha actually meant when he said that you must learn to see things as they are with Nana Dasana, the direct knowledge of vision of the reality, meaning Tathata or suchness seeing. When you can see things as they are, it means you can understand this stanza. Whatever arises, there are causes and conditions behind. This stanza has deep meaning. It means that this is the reality because conditions are already set, and if you do not accept what happens, it means you want things your way, which is not nature's way. Then you suffer because these are nature's conditions. When the causes and conditions are already established, the reality has to be such, not otherwise. not according to what you want, not according to one's individual craving and preference, because these are nature's conditions. It implies that reality is, suchness and truth are. This is the isness of things. It is not your truth and not my truth, because these are the individual's relative truths. Similarly, a situation is neither good nor bad, because it is the reality. Things are just the way they are, and they have to be such. The same goes with this saying of mine. Living beings are just the way they are, and the world is the world. Do remember all these words of wisdom, because they all point towards suchness. It is because we live in a conditioned world. So when conditions are like that, things will be like that. That is the reality, and the present moment is the only reality in life. But this present moment is so transient. Split second, it is dead and gone. That is why understanding this present moment awareness is very important. If you are not aware and you are lost in thoughts, how can you understand what is going on in life and what is happening within the moment? How can you know who you are, what life is, what existence is, and what truth is? All these teachings of the Dharma are to awaken you to the present moment awareness, which is sati or mindfulness. With sati developed, all this will fall in place. Then your nature will become very different. Once you have that awakening, as I have explained earlier on, the phenomenal world of consciousness and form will collapse in front of you. That means the phenomenal world of consciousness and form will have no power over you, because you have understood that perception of form is consciousness, only mental consciousness, no reality, whereas its non-perception is wisdom. When you are here with the pure awareness nature, you do not perceive anything, because that is the true mind, the silent mind with no thought, nothing, no duality. So how can it perceive? That is why pure awareness or pure perception is to see things as they are, because things are just the way they are. Suchness cannot be otherwise. This is how you can come to a great awakening. Your whole nature just awakens as if there is a sudden explosion of understanding. That is why I said that the phenomenal world of consciousness and form will collapse in front of you. They will have no more power over you, because you have understood that these manifestations are all projected from the mundane mind as consciousness. Hence, there is no reality. It is similar to the blank white screen. When all the lights and sound are projected onto it to create a movie, it can make you emotional and make it appear so real. But when the movie ends, what happens? It is just a blank screen, no reality, empty and not what you think. All these are created through causes and conditions, and they can delude living beings. The videos nowadays, including the cinema shows, can all appear to be so real, so enticing and so alluring. That is how they lure your senses, entice you, make you believe it is real, and make you crave for it, fight for it, and even pay to watch it. All this is what life, existence, and creation are. Without awareness and sati, developed from the true mind's direct seeing, you cannot understand all this, and you cannot penetrate all this. That is why you have to bring this phenomenal world of consciousness back to the mundane mind level, and seize it by bringing it back to the pure awareness stage. Then, through realization and wisdom, realize Nibbana, enlightenment in the here and the now. That is where the original nature or the source is. It is from there everything comes to be through the 4 stages of creation, as I had explained. That is also what the Surangama Sutra's explanation is all about. It said that from here, the source, the primordial mind comes to be and starts karmic movements until it becomes the phenomenal world of consciousness. Very good. Sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
9 o'clock already, huh? So we still have to together sing the song, 陪你到天涯. Those who know Mandarin, help to lead.
Okay, while waiting, can I share the meaning of this song is we can summarize into these 6 words. 同愿, 同心, 同行. Same aspiration. 愿 is a vow or aspiration. 同心 is a 同样的菩提心, 然后 walk the path together.
Okay? Because before that, there are a lot of very good things that they have put in. So page 1 out of 57. Are we out there? Page 1 out of 57. 陪你到天涯. Accompany you to the end of the world. Then page 2. Our teacher. Now you know who I am. So this one, a lot of new people don't know. My life mission. Share my nature's unique true Dhamma understanding with the world. Share my nature's unique cultivation of the Bodhisattva way with the world. So these are the 2 added later on, because they came to me and they realized Maitreya, when he came, then requested me to transmit the true Dhamma to the world. So inside me at that time, even 2008, when I received the message, I knew these are the 2 things that I'm very good and I can pass it on to the world. That's why finally they came to know. I think this one, Brother Teo do one, is it? Yeah? Pastor? Who do one? Oh, Chin Hao. Wow, very good. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That's why Chin Hao, very important asset. The way he found my photo also, I also don't know. But same as this. Same as this one. Similar. Chin Hao, very good. Okay. 3rd one, 4th one now. This one is to explain to you. Receive a special request from Maitreya Bodhisattva's nature, actually, in the year 2008. Please help transmit the true Dhamma. 请你把正法传下去. If you want to know the full description, read the blue book. It's described by me in the blue book. Okay? Then number 5. To progress in your cultivation, you need to be sincere, have faith, and persevere with strong resolve. Understand? How to resolve a life problem caused by past negative karma. You know how Chin Hao able to compile all this? He came and asked me many times, and we share in the Dhamma session and Klamanila until he also understands. So first is what? Seek forgiveness and repentance to overcome karmic obstruction. Read together lah. Why you all don't want to understand all this? Read together. How to
Resolve
a life problem caused by past negative karma. So the first thing you have to do is
seek forgiveness and repentance.
Okay, repentance.
To
overcome karmic obstruction. Then
make vows to avoid all evil deeds, keeping precepts, cultivate wholesomeness, virtues, and purify your mind.
So this is the advice of all Buddha. Understand now? Then after that, you cultivate, you got merits ready. Then you can do number 3.
Sailang. Invoke the power of merits for causes and conditions to turn around.
So what you need to understand is, you have right view first. Whatever happens in life, you entangle yourself, the first noble truth reality, tell yourself, I need to accept this reality. Because according to the Buddha, you are born of your karma, heir to your karma, conditioned and supported by your karma. And you are what you are according to your karma. So you cannot blame anybody. And this is a reality. Condition already set, thing is just the way it is. Cannot be otherwise, understand? So, if you want to resist and one thing your way, which is not nature's way, then you suffer. And that is very clear, isn't it? So, first thing is to apply Noble Eightfold Path. Okay? Then you accept. After you accept, you ask yourself, with the clarity of mind, no evil root, no wrong thought, no reaction, no stirring, with that clarity, you ask yourself, what actually happened? Then how can I resolve this amicably so that I can move, so that I can develop the understanding to, in the future, resolve all this according to the teaching. Then after that only, do what you have to do. These three things is what I teach you. Do what you have to do. If it's karmic, what must you do? Ask for forgiveness and repentance. Follow the chanting book and all those things. Kneel down in front of the Buddha, whomsoever from the distant past and all things. We are here, seek forgiveness and repentance. He never teach you how to do, understand? You have to go to a chanting book, page 16 or 17, I forgot already. Then modify it according to your need. Then after that, since you already asked for forgiveness, means what? You're really serious and you want to repent. So you must tell yourself, you vow to not commit all this karmic negativity again from now onward. Understand not? Because you know this is wrong. We are following the advice of the Buddha to avoid all evil, do good, purify the mind. So here Chin Hao put, make vow, better. Understand not? So when you do this, you start the cultivation path. Understand? Because when you avoid all you do good, purify the mind, you develop wisdom, you cultivate virtue, you develop a lot of spiritual wealth and understanding. Your parami is there. Then you can invoke the power of merits for causes and conditions to turn around or to recover to good mind state so that you can relive your life and given a second chance to cultivate or whatever. Or you can invoke for your loved one, somebody you know, very close, and it works. You say on their behalf, you ask for forgiveness on their behalf. Then after that, you develop this on their behalf. Knowing that this is wrong, you vow not to repeat all this karmic negativity so that you can actually, as we are following the advice of the Buddha, so that you can avoid all evil, do good, and purify the mind, and develop cultivation, merits, virtue, and wisdom. Then once you have all these merits, merits, virtue, and wisdom, then you can apply them to invoke power of merit. So by the power of merit, just like what the Buddha teach, Imina punyang kamena. By the power of this punyang, means merits, may it arise the causes and conditions for your whatever problem to turn around, or your loved one to recover to good health or good mind state. Understand? Or your problem to be resolved amicably. So once you make that, nature has its own way of operating. Then somehow it will give rise to causes and conditions for you to meet up with people that can help you to recover. Understand? If you don't do that, the karmic obstruction will block you and you cannot come out of it. Okay? Next page. Acceptance with wisdom. This is what Sui has been saying. Acceptance first. Otherwise you will hold and complain, understand? Being tormented and all those things. So acceptance is right view, right understanding. Acceptance with wisdom. If one can accept the reality of the moment with wisdom and move on, then one will not suffer. Then without the silent mind to observe and awaken, you cannot learn the true Dhamma. Sing Wei根本. Sui also know how to read. Sadhu. Next page. To realize our self-nature, our pure awareness nature, silent, relax, aware, and let it return to its original state, you will realize your true mind and self-nature. So this one very easy, right? No need to do anything, just silent, relax, aware. Then let the thinking mind, mundane mind, slow down and return to its original state before the stirring. Then you will realize your true mind or your true nature. Some call it self-nature. Then this is a song already, huh? Okay, so you want to on the thing, then read. Yeah. You read the Mandarin, 从前你和我. Correct or not? Because I am more English educator. So pardon me if I read the Mandarin wrong. 从前你和我, once you and I, since the distant past, we have been together, understand? Never mind, we follow this. Broken English, never mind. You understand, can I? 从前你和我 means in the distant past, you and me. Better, yeah? Better or not? You may not agree. But I don't know you, I haven't seen you. Means you don't understand karma, you don't understand affinity. This one is written by 普贤菩萨 you 开玩笑。Samantara Bodhisattva 无忧无虑游人间。This one, the English translation is correct. Carefree. But they got two words, Wu yu, what is wu yu? Meaning, no worry and carefree. Like that more accurate. No worry and carefree. Together, we roam the mortal rhyme. Mortal rhyme, 31 plane of existence. This is not the immortal rhyme. Then, next one. 师徒两心. Jie is what? Tie together. Is it tie together? Not tie together. With the heart, steadfast. Yeah, 心戒. 师徒两心戒. 坚两心坚. Means master and disciple steadfast in their, what they call, adhitthana, determination, adhitthana, in their determination. Means their, what they call, affirmation. Means they really wants to cultivate together and move together. Okay. Then the next one. Okay. 同力从商长商多少变. Yun Chan also know. Who was it that spoke? Po Lian. Chiu Po Lian. Wei Pai. Weathered countless trials together. 同理从商多少变. Okay. So the English one we are more interested. Weathered countless trials together. Okay. Then 梦里已失忆. Even in dream, the thought lingers. Very romantic. 發夢都見到你. He does. Don't worry, the translator direct, I think. 大願 what? 大願牽手走天涯. This one I understand. 大願牽手走天涯. 天邊 not 天涯. 邊. Okay. So vowing to walk hand in hand, very, very hand in hand, to the end of the world, to the end of the planet. Sometimes not born here, how? Other planet, until the end of birth and death. Hand in hand to the end, until the end of samsara. 恩怨都忘了. Forget all grievances. 恩怨 is grievances. Okay. This one I like. 言情平等笑相见. Meet with smile, treating enmity and kinsmanship equally. 不错. Yeah, I know. 言情 means coming on. All that follow you on. 花落又花开. This one is nice. But still the Mandarin expression more meaningful. 花落又花开. Flower fall and bloom again. Okay lah. Then next one. 草色相伴，两开怀呀。So the grassy cottage witness share joy. Okay. 问啊，问君可知 Oh, no wonder he said, do you know this has been going on? Okay. Then 今天眼前我从来 Oh, yeah lah. Today I start anew before. Huh? Where got I? The Mandarin. Oh yeah. 今天眼前啊 in front of me lah, not I lah. 我从来 Today I start anew before you. 因缘早安排 This one is very good. Everything has been arranged by causes and conditions in the past. So he said, fate arranged earlier on also can. But the meaning is 因缘早安排 means the causes and condition, the earlier causes and condition has already set. It is already arranged. Understand? It is already like that. That's why you may not understand why. You think you all come to my nature by accident? No. Coincidence? No. It causes and condition behind earlier on. 你我相约在人海. Oh, you and I encounter each other in the sea of people. I say. 人海 direct translation. 人海 in the vast sea. Sea is more like means in samsara better. 3000苦世界 in this world of mind right suffering. Instead of 3000 suffering, he put mind right, better word. Okay, next one is what? 佛前大愿 what more? More. Oh, more. Oh, don't. More 成. Oh, don't bury your great vows before the Buddha. Why you go and bury? Means like dead person buried already. Maybe that is the Mandarin word. It will have the meaning. Okay, next one. Oh, this one is very good. With roots intertwined. 树连根 Actually, tree and roots intertwine.
It's from the Avamta Saka Sutta. It's like the Bodhisattva is like the teacher is like the root, and the students are like the fruit. So it is their link like that.
Yeah, but they here put there 树连根
Yeah, like the trees and the root are connected.
Yeah lah. Correct lah, but not fruit lah. Just now I heard you mention fruit. Root and tree, not root and fruit. 树连根 yeah, correct. 我们树连根 with roots intertwined. 哇，这么厉害啊 We weather many storms with one heart. Okay, very good. 多少风雨一条心 I thought 是几多风雨一条心，几多啦几多风雨一条心Then you speak the Mandarin then I speak the English better.
履破在红尘
Okay, so joining in the mortal rhyme, that one we understand. Yeah?
共度苍生不怕困
Okay, facing life together without fear. Next one.
天涯几颗星
Oh, countless stars at the end of the universe.
有你有我在里面
With you and me among the existential world.
闪闪亮光明
Glimmering bright.
生生不退菩提心
This one is very good. The Bodhi mind endures eternally, means it will not fall back. No more? Okay, can play the song.
从前你和我无忧无虑游人间，是途量心间，同里沧桑多少遍，梦里私语，发愿牵手走天边，恩怨都忘了，愿情平等笑相见。花朵又花开，苍生相伴两徘徊。问君可知否？今天也牵我重来。姻缘早安排，你我相遇在人海。三千苦世界，佛前发愿我尘埋。我们树连根，几多风雨一条心。雨落在红尘，共度苍生不怕困。天涯几颗心，有你有我在里面。闪闪亮光明，生生不对不离心。
This one is very meaningful. Eh?
花落又花开，苍生相伴两徘徊。问君可知否？今天眼前我重来。姻缘早安排，你我相遇在人海。三千苦世界，佛前大愿莫尘埋。我们树连根，几多风雨一条心。雨过在红尘，共度苍生不怕困。天涯几颗心，有你有我在里面。闪闪亮光明，生生不退菩提心。闪闪亮光明，生生不
不
退
退菩提心。Let us rejoice, huh? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. In fact, what is mentioned in that song is very true, because you can never know how the nature's law function and operate. Yeah. That's why in the Bodhisattva vow, the yellow card, what did I advise you all to do? Yeah? Cultivate strong affinity with all the great beings, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. You have to. Once you do that, their vow, their nature's compassion and love will take you along. Understand? So it's not so difficult. That's why those who have faith in the Buddha and the great beings, they actually got a lot of what we call very special affinity, you know. There are a lot of things like happen to them, you know. You look at Alicia, after the depression, after the suffering, but when the time comes, when she somehow, because of past karmic causes and condition, must have affinity with Kayamita and my nature, then through some Kayamita, she will advise to see me, to attend my Tuesday class. And she appeared. After she appeared, when she connect back, I mean not that nature connect back so fast, connect back to the Dhamma, then when she starts to listen, all this has its causes and condition and efficacy, it starts to transform and change her. Then not long, on her own, she came to know her affinity with Tizang Pusa and all those things, Four Pusa, Guan Yin, everything. That's why you don't think all these may not be true or not important. These are the real important ones. Easier to cultivate or easier to make affinity? Yeah? Make affinity very easy. You want to have affinity with me? Pay respect lah, cultivate. That's all. No need to do anything. Then you want to have affinity with all these, be good Kayamita lah. That's all. Then all the affinity, then all the great beings, just go and pay respect, chant their forehead only, man. Understand? Compared to cultivation, I already explained, no. The whole whiteboard also full already, you know. And everyone is a lot to do one, no. Like the essential Dhamma, the mind map so big, no, so we draw until. You think that one easier or make affinity easier? Sadhu only, all the spiritual merits already there already. Cultivation, you think easy? Go wrong way, deviate, go Holland, then get lost, and entangle with karmic all over. No? Then future you come, how come like that? I make my vow already. Because you went Holland so many rounds, that's all. And who you entangle with also nobody know. So a lot of things about nature's law, especially the law of karma, you must understand that all these bodhisattvas, the Buddha and the great beings, they have gone through that process, the cultivation. That's why they can guide you, they can teach you, they can show you the way. So this is the reason why all this, once you understand, then you go all out and develop the affinity. And that will speed up your cultivation. Because, like I said, the spiritual nature cannot come back and let you inherit until you connect. Understand? So like even Alicia, she has her past. But the karmic debt has to repay first. Understand? The 16 years of depression. In fact, Eckhart Tolle also, you read his book, The Power of Now, he was in depression. Then suddenly something happened. A lot of cultivators of the way, in fact, they come through suffering. Well, that is their way, their cultivation from the past. That's why they come. They have to go through all this to connect. But different people, different. Understand that? Like my case, I recall, I don't have problem on, but I search by myself. Because when the time comes, the Bodhi mind activated, then you know how to search, you know. Then when I was born, I also know I am different. But I cannot understand at that time why I am different. Because I realize a lot of the things I do, opposite of other people do one. I blow the flute also, I put the other direction on. Until I joined the school band, they say wrong, put like that. Then everything I do is normally what normal people don't do one. So then a lot of things that happen to me, I know one. How come like that one? The thing I observe, I saw, I understand differently. Then things that I can see, my friend, they are not interested on. So all these other sign or what they call result of everybody's different paths. Some cultivator, some non-cultivator, everyone is different. Then when you are a cultivator, you calm, you understand causes and conditions, then all these things fall into place. So cultivation is very, very important. Once you have the cultivation, your wisdom will grow. And a lot of things you can understand. Then the whole of life you can understand. When you understand life, you know how to live life. Then you will not get yourself entangled. Can follow? Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, what's the time now? We have to end. Oh, you're 9:40 already. You all want to sing anything?
Oh, no.
Mama Suri.
Okay, brother, before we end, can I share something about this taking vow in the Mahayana? Okay, in the Mahayana tradition, when we take the Bodhisattva vow, there's a ceremony. So in the ceremony, the Shakyamuni Buddha is our preceptor. Should be our preceptor. And this Wensu Sri Pusa is the MC, you know, that for the ceremony. And this Maitreya Bodhisattva is like I just translate directly. He is like our class monitor. Make sure that we all cultivate. And then all the other bodhisattvas, they are like our 同行的伴侣, is our Kayanamita. All the bodhisattvas, once you take the vow, they are our Kayanamita, and they will protect us, they will shine. Their nature is ever shining, ever shine forth.
For the cultivator of the way.
That's what we will, during the ceremony, that's what is happening.
When you are in Taiwan?
Taiwan, yes,
Sadhu.
Hakusan that time.
They didn't tell you which sutra that has this? Did they tell you?
Yeah, there's a sutta that's saying that,
and then we
chant all the
Mahayana
precepts.
Sutta?
I don't know the translation, it's all in Mandarin.
No, the Mahayana Sutta that they got this is, what sutta is it?
它有一个菩萨经，菩萨戒的经。That's what I discussed with Fa Chang Si the other day at the kitchen there.
You can Google and forward to me or not?
And this Bodhisattva in the Mahayana tradition, they are the beginners step. You take 10 precepts, the Bodhisattva precept, and then they have 28 precepts, and they have the 48 precepts. You know, one of our helpers in the kitchen with short hair, she's 28 precepts. She took her vow and she's taking 28 precepts.
Okay. Sadhu. Thank you. Sadhu. So you don't worry about all this. They are different sect, different tradition. They have their, what they call, understanding, and they will follow that one. But what I share with you and teach you one is, because my style is I'm not rigid one. I don't follow all these things one. I take you direct to what you need to know, and you just do. Understand? But these are important too, if you understand, because they invoke all your good friends. Who are your good friends? The first one is Namo Pen Si释迦牟尼佛. Sakyamuni Buddha is the main one. Preceptor the main one. Then Wensu Pusa. MC only, wisdom or foremost wisdom, no, how can MC only? Then Maitreya monitor. I think we should call it nature down and ask them to administer again. But don't worry, joke aside, please. Because this one is your affinity with them and your faith. Because what is important, even you do all this, what is important is you are able to develop affinity with all these great beings. If who is your preceptor can make a big difference to your cultivation, then all these are meaningful, understand? Or what we say relevant. But then you ask yourself sometime, all these great beings' nature so easy to invite or not? If you don't have the cultivation, you think you can invite? Cannot understand. But I think what they mean is, in front of the altar, then they recite that sutta or whatever to actually make it into like a proper assembly where you do this taking of the Bodhisattva vow. Whose car? Not one of ours. Oh, the other side. Never mind. If it's one of our Karimita one, we better go and do something. I think at the back is okay. So what is important is different sect, different tradition, they follow what they know. And Mahayana, I think, very true. They have a lot of this type of taking of the Bodhisattva vow precept. Xuan Hua one is different. Xuan Hua one, the Pusatao, he called everybody, Then I remember Oakland Road there. Oh no, that one is Kui. The Pusatao, Bodhisattva precept, he do a Brickfield temple. I was there. I think Mami was there. I don't know you and Juma was there or not. I don't know. All know Pusatao. And he just one person up there. Then he lead. Then there is something that he, I think, right one. But you must become his follower first, disciple. That's why we all take refuge. We can partake. Then he conduct, no. That one is the book, I think, the booklet. Later on, they give us the booklet. So your understanding and faith is more important than that. When you understand, develop the faith, the three things: saddha, sincerity, then perseverance. Then make affinity. Well, what I put in the yellow card is more important. You do all those, then your future all taken care of. Then in future, if you got condition or opportunity to join all those people, do it according to the Mahayana Sutra, by all means, please follow, understand, where you will benefit. Where these are all great beings, Sammasambuddha. And I always call them your good friend. Kayanamita know your good friend? So you must be able to rejoice when you meet up with a good friend. But most people not careful, they cannot recognize. So you cannot recognize, too bad lah. But most people, if you have the cultivation, you will recognize it. You can sense them on. Then from the way they actually communicate or interact with you, or through the yin-yang affinity that arrange those things, you know what? They are the one meant to be one. You're supposed to meet or you have affinity with. Then things will unfold. So all these things, there are nature's law and condition behind. Then the sign that appear, you can sense it, you can know it. Meant to be will be. Whatever that is not meant to be will not be. Okay? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we end. We share merit, we transfer merit. Akasatta cha bhumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakantu loka sasana ittavata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo dewa wasatu kalena sasampati heto cha vito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo sattang samagamo hotu Yava Nivana Patiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, you can pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Thank you.
Dear Ganamitas, before we call it a day, shall we pay our respects and express our gratitude to Bratio by bowing 3 times? Bow. Bow. Bow.
So what is the format that my yellow card, which I prepared that time? You look at page 2, taking out the 4 basic vows. This format is also from this, I think, Puxian Pusaon. This one is from Puxian Jingwon. I remember. That's why I like this one. This one is very, very direct and very beautiful. Just as all the previous Sammasambuddha and the Sugata, the Buddha, generated the Bodhi mind of enlightenment and accomplished all the stages of Bodhisattva training, so toward this nature of mind, for the sake of all living beings, generate the Bodhi mind of enlightenment and accomplish all the stages of Bodhisattva training, so that the seed of Bodhi can be strongly planted within my nature. So this one is very important. You follow the tradition of all the Sammasambuddha of the past, Sugata, because they have done this and they have actually did it very well. So this one, I think at that time when I went through the Google search, I found this one. Then I find this one very useful. That's why I just incorporate this one. Then the rest are all by me. I only need to know what is the Mahayana traditions popularly accepted way of doing it. Then I look, I choose this one. So you don't worry. This is the one that is enough for you to develop the affinity and all those things. And more important is your understanding. When you follow all the Sammasambuddha, that is the most important one. Then you determine, affirm. Then your, what they call adhitthana, very strong, your faith very strong. And that one is the one that moves you. Your Bodhi mind, they will be nurtured and they will actually come to be when you arise. So in the vow, I also say, you plant the Bodhi mind, the Bodhi seed, until it is very firmly developed within your nature, until it can nurture itself, so that whenever you come, you choose to come or you have to come, this one will activate by itself. So if you have done it following this format, that Bodhi mind will be actually firmly planted. So that Bodhi mind is the one that activates, means enlightenment thought to become Sammasambuddha. And that one, if you do it with the faith and the understanding and very strong, that is the one that will move. Even non-sasana, this nature realize, it will move on. That's why this life, my nature come, when I inherit, I recall. All this can be done. But you must have the very strong faith, sada, then sincerity, then you persevere. Then all this understanding will unfold. Okay? Sadhu, sadhu. Okay.